Alright guys, so how's she going this evening? Got some deer hanging out. Got more down the road over there. And yeah. So we have gained at least a good solid hour and a half of daylight. Probably a little bit more than that. If it's clear out, no clouds or nothing, there's a little bit of light even at 7 o'clock. It's not bright out, but you can still, you can tell where the sun's going down, obviously, or where it has gone down, at least anyway. So gained a little bit of daylight. I just wish we would gain some temperatures now. We had a good little swing there of high 30s. Things were melting a little bit there, but then obviously now it's getting cold again, and they're actually talking a 70% chance of snow in the next couple of days. So, which whatever, it is what it is. So, the purpose of this video is kind of just I guess I just kind of want to get your guys' feedback on it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just going insane, but it's never happened before, so that's why I can't really figure it out. But I know I've told a couple of viewers of mine that the oil level has been rising in the John Deere, and that's never happened before. And I made a little clip of it here. I had to drain some out because I just felt like it was too high. Because it was like not quite halfway up the stick, but it was getting close. It was definitely above the H, which is the high mark, and that's where I stopped. I ran the tractor a little bit today because I had a small job to do with it, and I had a little bit of snow I wanted to blow at the farm, but I'll probably be going back out anyway when we get near a snowstorm. But but I don't really know. It's never done that before, so this is the first year that I've had a questionable year with it. It's like, yeah, it does leak a little bit of coolant out of the top of the rad. Didn't notice anything this time, so but it doesn't seem to really affect too much. And I know one of the guys said to just never really even worry about the full bottle, because they're kind of, I guess, they're just a pointless thing to even have, but they're on there. Big Red's kind of the same way too. It kind of goes down after a little while, and then you have to top it off. I've only topped Big Red off once, and I think that was last year I did that, and it's been kind of all right since then. But I don't know where coolant's going. Now, I don't know for in the John Deere if the coolant is going into the engine, because if it was, you would think, one, you would run out of coolant way quicker than that, especially if it was like a head gasket or something. You think it would leak a lot more than that, and it would come out of the dipstick, because it is kind of a tight seal for the dipstick, but enough pressure, it probably would pop it out. But I don't know. Now, that oil that's in that tractor is slightly thinner than normal. The oil that I'm running in this tractor is designed both for summer and winter. It's kind of the same thing as what Big Red requires. Well, you can run different types of oils in it, but the oil that I run in Big Red is that 50-50 style oil, where it's good down to like minus 40 or even colder, and then it's good up to like 100 and something degrees, right? So it's kind of the same thing with the John Deere. Now, you can buy just strictly summertime or wintertime oil, and you can change your oils twice a year or whatever, for the type of season that you're dealing with. I like this type of oil because I can run it year round and not have to change it because it's good for winter and summer. Now, winter oil would probably be a little better, because it's just strictly winter oil. So, but I don't know. I've never had any issues with it, running the 50-50 style oil. So, I'm not really sure what's going on there. And, I ran my hand through it. I did make a little video of it. I'll show it. But you have to excuse like the grass and dirt that's in it because that did not come out of the tractor. That was in the oil pan. I don't do the greatest jobs cleaning my oil pans out when I'm done with them. So, so all the dirt and grass that you see in there, that's just from normal engine oil changes and bumping into the tractor and knocking dirt and grass off it. So, so the oil did come out clean, but it is slightly dirty. But what's so funny is that on the dipstick, it actually looks clean. Like it doesn't even have hardly any hours on it. So, which is kind of strange. Given now that I'm running this thing year round, it should get dirtier a little sooner. Big Red definitely does. Now, of course, I'm not running him that much in the wintertime, so his oil dirtiness has lessened. The time back when I used to plow with Big Red, move snow, I ran him year round. By the time July came, it was pitch black. Okay, because I only change my oils once a year. The young guy says I should do it twice a year, but in the book, it only says to do it every 500 miles. Well, I don't even put 500 miles on within even just a half a year. I don't. So I'm pretty close. But see, since I was running him in the wintertime, plowing snow and all that other stuff too, by the time July would hit, I would probably be at like 600, 700 miles. So I would be a little overdue, but I'm not going to change it just because I hit a certain amount of mileage. I'm going to change it at a certain time of the year because I know I don't like changing oils in the wintertime, and I don't like doing it in the springtime or even in the fall time because the weather is so up and down that it's hard to get a good day in to do any of that. So I do it in the summertime when I know I have good days regardless. I don't care if it's raining out. I can still change oils. It doesn't matter because I'm doing it in a building. So, but when it's cold out like this and you got to, put winter gear on, it's not fun. And yeah, I'm wearing my old overhauls, but that's because I don't want to get my new ones dirty. So, but yeah, that oil I think would be a little bit on the thinner side than even just strictly winter oil. Winter oil would probably be a lot thinner than that because it's just strictly in a winter grade oil. But like I said, I've ran that type of oil for years and I've never had an issue with it. So I don't know. I thought maybe water was getting in, just like some natural moisture. Maybe it's getting into the carburetor. Maybe it freezes up and then it melts and then it falls in. But you think that would burn off. But damn if I know. All I know is that during warm up, it runs extremely rough. So, but then once it's it warms up and it's good to go, well, then it runs perfectly fine. So, having a hard time understanding why my engine oil level was rising. Now, I drained some out because I don't know if I would do, damage to the engine or not in the condition that it is, or if it's over full with oil. And I don't really want to find out. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, well, you should just do an oil change and be done with it. Yeah, but it's not that good. There's no good weather. And with it being, winter and they're saying that we could have snow coming. Yeah. So I do have some spare oil floating around. I always try to keep at least 1 quart of oil laying around. So if I need to top off, because, Big Red likes to leak. So I always, but it's the same thing with everything else I own. I always keep a spare bottle of oil, even with the Tahoe. Even though the Tahoe doesn't leak a drop of oil, it probably will start eventually. I got a quart of oil for it in the back. So everything I own has at least 1 quart of oil. So if it gets low on it, well, then I can just top it off. But the only thing that's been burning oil, is Big Red. But Big Red also, well, it actually more or less, I should say that Big Red leaks oil. He doesn't burn it. He more or less just leaks it out when it's cold. The John Deere, this is the first year that I've had any type of an issue with it. Because in the past, I've never had any issues. Now, mind you, this is probably my second year now, I guess, running the blower. Running this thing year-round. So I really shouldn't have any problems. For the rough idling part of it, I don't know, I probably would need a block heater on it or something, but you can't get any from the factory. You'd have to get one that you can stick to the block or something, but that's only going to do so much good too. Because you're warming the oil, you're not really warming the block. And if you are, you're warming the oil pan. So, yeah, it would help to probably have warm oil, because it'd be a little thinner, but it'd be better for it, but I don't know. A lot of it, I think, just has to do with the cold weather. I think when it warms up, it probably should settle down and not run rough like that. But, like I said, I drained some oil out. I'm letting it kind of settle. I really should have let it settle overnight, because if there is any moisture in it, well, there's still going to be some in the oil, regardless if I drain it. Whereas if it sat overnight, I don't know if water would. I don't know if water's heavier than oil. I highly doubt it, but usually water will settle at the bottom of everything, and then the oil will sit on top of the water. So I don't know. But when I drained it out, I didn't notice any water. It was just straight up oil. But see, again, I had been running it, so it could have been mixing it together. So you would have to probably let it sit overnight. Like, tonight, let it sit and then check the oil level again, and then maybe dump a little bit more out. Because I can still dump a little bit more out if I had to. Because it's still just slightly over the H. Not all, it's not halfway up the stick, but it's down to the top of the H on the high side of the dipstick. So I just, yeah, I don't know. It's a new problem for me, but I mean, not really even sure. It's could just be, a weird thing going on. I don't know. Everything I own seems to have some kind of a weird problem at some point in life, and I've never dealt with them before. And then it fixes itself, and then it doesn't happen again. So, but yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. But I guess if any of you guys have experienced anything like that, let me know. But usually, I don't know. I think it should, but I can't. I would have to Google it again. But I think if coolant was getting, well, I don't know, can it go both ways? Because usually if you get coolant into your engine and it mixes with the oil, wouldn't coolant or oil get into your coolant and then just go throughout the whole entire system? I don't know. But maybe not. I don't know. But if coolant was getting into the oil because of the head gasket or whatever, you think that the oil would change colors, and it would be maybe more of a milkshakey color or thickness, kinda. I don't know, but it's still oil. Like, it's just normal oil. So I don't know really what to think. Like I said, I'll keep an eye on it. I've been doing that for the last couple of months. It's been that way for a while, but I just keep running it like that. But we haven't had really any nice weather. We finally got a little bit of nice weather today. It's getting cold now, obviously because the sun's going down and it's clouding over. But I don't know. I've never had that problem. Yeah, I've had things leak oil, onto the ground. I mean, Big Red does it, and the 1586 leaks too. But I've never had a scenario where the oil has risen. Now, if it'll continue to rise, that's going to be the $1 million question. Is if it continues to rise now, then the water's got to be getting in it somehow. It's either the coolant or it's just moisture from the air. Maybe, like I said, maybe the carburetor's freezing up, and then when I run it, it gets hot, and then it melts into, it gets into the engine. I don't know. Unless the inside of the engine is getting moisture from being cold, and then firing it up, snow blowing, getting extremely hot. I don't know, but you think that would all kind of just evaporate? I don't know. I've never had a problem like that. So if you guys have experienced that kind of a problem, I guess let me know what you think. So, but yeah, if you think if coolant was actually getting in, one, it should be rising a lot quicker than that, you would think, I guess depending on how big the crack would be. And then you think your oil would be changing color. But mine's not changing color. It is getting dark, but that's to be expected because it's being used. So it's just a normal darkness. It hasn't actually changed color. It's just getting dark because it's getting dirty from being ran through the engine. It's in mowing and snow blowing. So I don't know, but I guess you guys can let me know what you think. But this is the first year for me to have that problem. I don't know. It may not even do it anymore. Maybe since I dumped some out. Maybe it'll just stay that way until whenever. I guess whenever. So, not a big fan of having to do that. But I mean, I don't know what else to do because I don't want to run it when it's over full like that. Because I don't want to damage the engine. But on the dipstick, it still says that it's high. But it's safer than what it used to be. But I need to run it. Let it settle overnight. Check it in the morning. Maybe drain a little bit out just to get it maybe below the H now. And then maybe to see if there's any more moisture. Because if there is any water in the oil, that should technically settle at the very bottom of the oil pan. And then it should come out when I start dumping it out. So, but I think that's the best thing I can do is maybe just let it sit for tonight. Check it tomorrow morning. See where the level's at. Dump a little bit out again. And then see if there's any moisture in that. And if there's not, well then I don't know what to tell you. But I don't know. But yeah, I've never had that problem before. It's all new to me, but maybe it's nothing either. Maybe it could just be there some moisture got in it, sitting and getting hot. It melted it in there, and now it's in there. So, but there's not really much I can do about it because I don't really want to change the oil in it because it's too damn soon for that, and it's too damn cold. Now we're going to be getting into a cold spell again. So changing oils on anything is not really going to happen. Plus, I don't have a spare oil filter. I don't keep oil filters in stock because I only change the oil once a year in it, so I don't really bother keeping a stockpile of that stuff. So I guess I should start, but they're, like, what, $15 a filter, so even though they're only like this damn big, they're the same size as what Big Red takes. So, I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be I guess that'll be an interesting thing, to see what the oil will do, for the rest of the year. But hopefully it'll calm down and not keep doing what it's doing. Because, again, if it rises, if it continues to rise, well, then I don't really know. I keep checking the coolant level, and doesn't really seem like it's dropped. It seems like it gets to a certain point, like it's below the low line. I mean, I keep topping it off, but then it just seems to keep disappearing. But like I said, I do have a slight leak in the rad, but it really shouldn't drain that quick, though, you know? So it's got to be just evaporating or something. I don't know. So, but yeah, if you do overfill them, well, then they'll come out the overflow tube, but that's why the inside of the hood's all garbage, because that's what I did. I accidentally would overfill it, then it would get hot, and then it would push it over, you know, push it out. So that probably would explain that, but that really shouldn't explain, that wouldn't really explain why it keeps getting low. But yet there's no leaks anywhere. I don't think it's getting into the oil anywhere. But it's kind of funny how my coolant goes down to a certain point, and then my oil level slightly rises. So I don't know if maybe one needs to be lower than the other, or you think they'd be totally separate things, but I mean, your coolant goes through your engine block. That's how it keeps it cold, or you know, cooler anyway. But the only way it can get into the oil is if the head gasket's bad. But I don't think it's bad, because if it was bad, you would think that it would just suck in the antifreeze, just, you know, suck it in hardcore, and then just destroy your oil. Your oil will just be instantly milkshake colored or whatever, and it'd be just extremely overfull. So, but I don't know. I'm not an engine builder, so I don't really know, but not really sure. But yeah, if it's going to start becoming an issue, I might have to break down and get another tractor, another mower tractor. I need a new four-wheeler, but I don't know. It's time for new stuff, but you know, you can keep old stuff running too, but you know, you just got to have tons of cash floating around. So I don't know. I think the main thing is to get a trailer for the Tahoe, because I have nothing that can haul the John Deere, you know, or Big Red. Well, I can haul Big Red in the back of the pickup, but the John Deere, I don't know. I don't have any special ramps that are designed for that size of tractor, so I don't think my ramps would do that. I think mine are just strictly meant for four-wheelers. So, but I'd rather have a trailer, you know, so that way we have a secondary vehicle that we can haul stuff on. And then if the John Deere does have a blown head gasket, well then I'm just going to take it to John Deere. They can just deal with it. I'm not going to play with it. I do enough repairs, and I don't need to do any more, and I'm just not going to play that game anymore. So, but yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt to get new stuff, get a new I guess, I mean, I want to get a 1025R, but you know how expensive them stupid things are. So I don't think I could ever afford one. I would have to get another, if I was to get another X700 series, it'd probably be an X758, brand new, obviously. Then I'll just put my blower and shit on that, and then be good enough. So, but I don't know. It's just the way it's going to be, I guess. But it's just going to have to last for now. Keep me through a couple more years, at least, until I can start getting more equipment. I'm not too worried about a four-wheeler, because I know a guy that I can go through and I can get like $2,000 or so off of a brand new four-wheeler. But I'm still going to have to fix this thing in the meantime. So, and the John Deere, well, like I said, I don't really know what's going on with it. I don't think it's a head gasket issue, because if it was, it should be just soaking in the antifreeze, and it should just be destroying the oil, and it's not doing that. So the oil still seems to be perfectly fine. So yeah, it could just be some moisture. I'm not really even too damn sure what the hell it is, but it may not even be nothing. I don't know. It may just because of the freaking cold. Maybe the cold is making it grow. You know, it's getting bigger. But I've never had any type of oil ever get, you know, expand or get bigger. You know, I've Big Red, the John Deere, you know, and this is, like I said, it's what, second year running now. with that blower on there, and it never did it last year. Never did it all throughout the summer months, so it's got to be just a winter thing, but I don't know. But everything's getting old and getting tired, and that John Deere's got almost 700 hours on it, believe it or not. So it'll probably be at 700 hours before spring hits if I got to keep blowing snow all the time. But I don't know. I don't know. I kind of want to keep the X724 because it's a really good mower tractor. You know, like it's really good for that. Whereas an X758 would be a little more clumsier. But I don't really want to keep two machines either. But I'm probably going to keep the X724 at least for a little while, even if I did buy a new one. Because if I'm not happy with the new one, then I can get rid of the new one and just keep my old one, right? I'm not going to do a trade or anything, even though I probably would get a better deal on it. But I don't like having to really sell or trade, and then I'm not happy with my new purchase, and then I got to go through all the bullshit to get my old one back. So I might as well just keep my old one and be done with it. And then once I think I'm happy with it and I have everything set to my liking and it does what I want it to do, then maybe I'll sell it. Or I can just keep it, like I said, strictly for, maybe just for the farm. Because, you know that their mower is eventually going to blow out. So, because their snowblower already took a shit. So, I got to blow them out for the rest of the year until they can figure out what to do from there. So, I don't know, but it's going to be a rough year, I think. But thank God this winter's almost over with. I think we only got, probably another, maybe, well, I mean, if you have a shitty spring, it's going to be a shitty spring, so you could say almost 3 months, but really it should be only like maybe 2, 1.5, but I've been off before on my math. So it would be nice if spring would kind of just come now and just be done with it, because I'm tired of winter and I want it to be over with. But I don't, nothing ever goes my way, right? So, but whatever. I guess I will just keep limping my stuff along, I guess, until whenever, and decide if we need to get new stuff or fix the old stuff. I don't know, Big Red's going to have to get sent in at some point too and get fixed. So, and then the Tahoe, well, that's going to have to go down, because I got to get the airbags fixed in that thing, and then, well, depending on who can do it around here, I don't know. I don't know if the Ford dealer could do it or not, because I don't think they sell GM products. So I might have to go over to the North Dakota side and go to where my John Deere dealer's at. I think there is a Chrysler, or no, a GM dealer there. I don't know if they would do those type of repairs, even though it would be covered by, the factory or whoever, from the company that built it. So, but if it has to go up to the cities, which is over an hour away, well, then it's going to be there even longer, because then I'm also going to go ahead and have the brush guard installed, because there is a ranch hand dealer down there as well, and they can even install them. So I'd have to call them ahead of time, see if they even have one in stock, and then let them know when I think I might be showing up, because obviously it's going to be in the repair shop probably for a couple days until they get all the airbags replaced. So if I'm going to be up in the season, I might as well just get the airbags done and then get the brush guard put on. And then it's got to come back home. Then I got to start putting my CB radials in it and yada, yada, yada. I did order a couple of things, because I'm not sure what style of CB with I'm going with yet, but it's going to be one of the large ones. But somebody custom builds mounts. Not really just for the Tahoes, it's really meant more for the pickups, but these things, they share the same body design pretty much in interior. So basically what they did is they made a mount that supposedly can slip into the cup holder the center thing, that's, between you and the passenger. That's where your third seat would be at. You can fold it up, of course, but when you're not using it for, like a person, you could use it as just like an armrest, or you can use the 3 cup holders that are built into it. Well, there's a guy that actually builds mounts that will slip into one of them, and then it'll hold your CB radio. And he only wanted $30 for it, because there was $30 for the large version, which is what I need, and then he makes a slightly smaller one for the smaller radios. And since I'm going with a large radio, that's what I need. And you can remove it anytime that you need to take the radio out to, if you need to take the radio out, or you need to fold the seat up or whatever, it's only permanently mounted to the radio. It's not permanently mounted to the vehicle. Because the way I was originally going to do it would be under the dash, where that third seat would be at, but then it'd be too hard to get to the radio and get to the buttons because it's way down there. So I was trying to figure out, if there could be something that I could make. And I can't put it up on the dash because then all the wiring would show and it would just look disgusting. Well, I got freaking lucky, and there's having to be a guy that builds mounts that can fit in those cup holders. And I don't really, I might use them someday, but there's still gonna be 2 there, one for me and one for the passenger, and then you got one in the doors too. So there's always gonna be plenty of cup holders floating around. So it's not gonna be a big deal, but I'll make a video on it when it shows up. But I don't have a radio yet or anything, but I'm going to order one. That's what I'm going to order as soon as the Blazer's done doing what it needs to be done. And it needs to go to the repair shop here to get I can do it up there too if it's already going to be there. They could probably do it as well, but they're not going to charge me for it. But yeah, I need the block heater replaced in it, and then need to figure out why the check engine light comes on. I know that Reese 6 says that his has been on for years and he's just ignored it. Well, on my Blazer, it sounds like it's misfiring. If you listen to the muffler, you can hear, maybe it's normal, I don't know. But, well, not really, because it shouldn't be this way, I don't think. But it's kind of like if you would release an air bubble underwater and then the bubble surfaced and it popped. You heard that bloop, bloop sound, right? Or something kind of like that. Well, that's what I'm kind of hearing out of the muffler or the exhaust pipe. So, but it just kind of screams more maybe of misfiring. Like maybe it's not firing on a cylinder. But yeah, I don't think, it doesn't really seem to be lacking power. Of course, mind you, I've never really pinned the thing wide open, but I pushed it hard a few times. So I just don't run it wide open because I don't need all that power. Now, if I was pulling a heavy load, then probably, yeah. Or if I was chasing a bad guy, then yeah. But, just being a daily cruiser, or it's going to be a work truck for a while, but, yeah, it really shouldn't, I don't need that much power. So, but other than that, I don't know. So, but it's got to get sent in, get all that shit figured out, because that check engine light's it'll just piss me off. Because I want at least one damn thing in life that is not a piece of shit. Big Red was a great machine. The John Deere was a great machine. But they all need love. And the John Deere would be a pretty good machine if just, one, replace the seat. Because that seat's wore out. And then, yeah. And as long as if it doesn't have an engine problem, it actually would be a pretty solid little garden tractor. So, but the Big Red's been around so freaking hard that it's not really shocking to have these type of problems on Big Red, but it's just that it costs money to fix them. So, but I guess I kind of can feel the young guy's pain, because the young guy has been having a lot of trouble the last couple of years too. The 1086 went down because the clutch went out. And I don't know if he ever fixed it. He never fixed it last year because he had the only tractor they had baling was the Magnum. He's been trying to get the 986 on the baler, but the baler kept taking a shit. So, so really the only tractor he had baling last year was the Magnum. But the Dodge Ram that he drives, that silver one, the transmission took a shit, and that's probably like the 10th time now that it's taken a shit on him. So he parked it, and he went and got himself another Ford pickup. So he doesn't know if he's even going to fix that transmission in the Dodge or not. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, I feel his pain. It's just, it's one problem right after another. So, but I don't know. Do I really want to get another four-wheeler? Yeah, but no. Yeah, it'd be nice to have something new, to enjoy. But I want to keep Big Red too, because there's really nothing wrong with Big Red. Yeah, he's got some scratches and some dings and yeah, whatever. Fix what's broken and deal with the scratches. The scratches give it character, It was never meant to be a showpiece. We used it like a fucking tractor, and that was obviously one of the problems, but we didn't have the little farm all up and running at the time, but we have it running now, so Big Red will no longer be on the cultivator either. The little cultivator. So we're going to put the little farm on that. That'll be his first job for this year in spring. So, but, yeah, I don't know. And then for our newer mower, I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to have new stuff, but, new stuff can have problems too, but then, you can also get, like with all of my other stuff, I got quite a few years out of it before I started having problems with it, And since would have more machines now, I can spread the workload out. So if I wanted to keep Big Red, okay, well then I can. Big Red could just be my sprayer, four-wheeler, or my tow rig, whatever, checking fence, whatever, and then my new four-wheeler could just be my joyriding machine, Get a brand new John Deere x728 or whatever. That'll be my main snowblower tractor and mower for here. The x724 can just be a backup, and it can just mow the grass at the farm, and if it needs to, whatever. Like, you can spread the workload out. Yeah, it's more shit to maintain, but I think either way you're maintaining it about, the same amount, because they all need attention. So I don't know, but and what would be kind of nice too, if I did get a newer four-wheeler or a brand new one, and I kept it for 5 years, let's say, and I got tired of it. Okay, I can just completely get rid of it. I can sell it to whoever wants to play with it next, or sell it to back, or trade it in for another machine. And let's say if I want to special order a machine, like maybe they come out with a really cool color and I want it, but I have to wait a certain amount of months. Well, I can either keep riding the one that I have now, or just trade it in completely, and then I can ride Big Red, So like, I'm always going to have a damn machine floating around. That's kind of why it's nice to have two of everything, because if one goes down, or you plan on getting rid of one, then you at least have one other machine that you can joyride. So, because I'm not always going to want to drive the Tahoe. I'm going to want to be on a four-wheeler. So, but I think this year I'm going to be running the Tahoe. I don't think I'm going to be running Big Red much at all, because you got the ball joints and charging system and all that's just garbage. So, so that's why as soon as the Tahoe gets all its attention that it needs, I got to get a radio put in that thing at least by June, and then it'll be road ready. Because I'm honestly getting kind of sick and tired of using the handheld radios, those little two-way radios, because the batteries die, they die after a few hours. It's kind of annoying. They should really last all day, but they don't. So probably could just replace the batteries, and there you go. But I'd rather have something that's hardwired to a big battery, so then it would last a while. So, but yeah. So as soon as that Tahoe gets done, I get the check engine light fixed, new block heater, get the airbags replaced in it, get the brush guard put on, and then get a CB radio put in that thing, and then she'll be my main machine for the rest of the year until I get money saved up again to get this thing fixed. So, I mean, yeah, I will still drive Big Ride a little bit here and there, but it's going to be very little because I just don't know how much life really is left in those ball joints. I mean, yeah, they're shot, but they could have been out for years. Probably would explain why that wheel has been so cocked like that, and it's been like that for years. I just never gotten around to actually checking to see if there was play in it. Well, I did it last year or whatever, and then sure enough, there's slop in it, so that means it's wore out. So it needs to be replaced. Well, how much longer can I actually run it in this condition before it just says fuck you and snaps completely off, and I have no way of loading it? So whatever life is left in that now, I would like to kind of save it until we can get it loaded. So, but I don't know. It's just it's a frustrating thing, but what are you gonna do? So right now, the Tahoe is priority. Got to try to get it at least 100% by June, so then I can use it, you know, without worrying about it, and then just be done with it. So, because like I said, I don't really want to take it on the highway because of the airbag problem and stuff like that. So that's kind of what's holding me back, as the airbags, because I don't want to die if I get into an accident. You know, the chances of me getting into an accident are probably quite slim around these areas, but you just never know. I'm not going to take that chance. So I'm just going to, it can just sit there then until when everything's decided to go more my way, and then we can get it, you know, fixed. So, but yeah, other than that, then I guess, guys, I'm going to take off. It's ended up being kind of a long video, but it is what it is. So, yeah, other than that, I don't know. We'll see what the John Deere oil does. I guess I'm going to check it again before I go in, and then I'll go back out tomorrow morning and check it again. And then if it needs to be, I'll probably dump a tiny bit more out tomorrow, just to make sure that there's no water in it or anything. Because running it probably didn't help, didn't do it any good. So, and then dumping it out, it really just should have sat overnight, and then I dumped it out. But I don't know, it's just the way it is, I guess. But never had that kind of a problem before, so it's all new to me. Oh, got some deer here. So, but yeah, anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. You guys can leave your 2 cents into what you think is going on and whatever. But for now, like I said, I just dumped some out. That's all I did. And then I'll check it, and then check it again tomorrow, and then dump a little bit more out if I need to, really. I want to anyway, to make sure there's no moisture in it. But it's going to be a very small amount, obviously. And then I guess we'll just keep running it the way it is then. I don't know what else to do, because I don't have money to fix that thing either. If that thing goes down, well, then it's going to stay down. There ain't nothing more I can do about it. So it is what it is. So anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So I guess I have a good day and stuff. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.